North Korea has long been a source of intrigue, and very little is known about this country. However, as the world becomes more innovative and multiple communication channels emerge, more information about what happens inside North Korea is leaking out to other countries. From the army of teenagers serving the leader to the punishment of 3 generations and the quite corrupt electoral system, here are 20 dark secrets that North Korea does not want you to know. North Koreans do not call themselves North Koreans. Historically, the Korean peninsula has been a unified country for long periods of time. However, this unity fractured when the 2 parts of the nation separated after World War II. From North Korea's perspective, there is no division. Technically known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, they consider themselves the legitimate representatives of all Koreans. Although they only control the northern part of the peninsula, they regard themselves as the true embodiment of Korean identity. In the eyes of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the inhabitants of the southern region are also and confiscated the coats they wore to avoid wardrobe clashes. Elections in North Korea. In North Korea, elections to the Supreme People's Assembly are held every 4 or 5 years, while elections to local people's assemblies take place every 4 years. However, what may be surprising is that these elections are not highly regarded by international observers. The reason for this skepticism lies in the fact that all seats in these assemblies are systematically won by the Democratic Front for the Reunification of Korea, a political entity under the control of the ruling Workers' Party of Korea. Although voter turnout approaches 100% and it seems that almost everyone supports the candidates, many argue that these elections lack authenticity due to the absence of genuine competition or choice. Critics argue that these elections resemble more a political census than a true electoral process since the results seem predetermined. With no viable alternatives, voting for anyone other than the approved candidate can lead to accusations of treason with severe consequences such as job loss. Despite the appearance of impartiality, these elections ultimately serve to consolidate the power of the ruling party. North Korea's Camp 22. North Korea's Camp 22 stands out as one of the most brutal prisons in all of Asia. From China, travelers can only enter North Korea through strictly controlled tours and are accompanied by guides throughout their stay. Tourists are constantly under the supervision of these guides, ensuring that they are never left alone or allowed to explore on their own. The Central Broadcasting Committee of North Korea and the Propaganda and Agitation Department of the Workers' Party of Korea exercise strict control over the television content broadcast in the country. Surprisingly, almost all households own a television with access to both traditional and digital broadcasts. In North Korea, television is citizens. The country operates a limited number of television channels, precisely 4, all of which are entirely state-run, further reinforcing the government's control over the media landscape. These channels include Korean Central Television, focused on historical propaganda, news, and emergency communications, Mansudae. The disparity was quite evident, with North Korea appearing significantly darker. In recent years, North Korea has made some efforts to improve its nighttime illumination, though at a slower pace than its wealthier neighbors. Notably, Kim Jong-un's development initiatives, such as the creation of industrial centers, housing projects, and construction works, coincide with the regions that have experienced improvements in nighttime lighting. An excellent example of this transformation can be seen in places like Sanjian, where entire cities now appear as small points in nighttime images. Despite these efforts to increase energy generation, North Korea continues to grapple with an inadequate energy supply. The completion of the Orangshan Power Station, a 4-decade-long project, represents a significant step towards addressing this issue. However, North Korea's nighttime illumination remains inferior to that of countries like Myanmar and other developing nations. To address its energy problems, North Korea faces a series of fundamental challenges, including the lack of adequate infrastructure. Il-sung and his successors. Essentially, it fosters continuous worship of the ruling family without expecting their help or intervention. In 1997, on the 3rd anniversary of Kim Il-sung's death, an official decree formally established the Juche calendar, designating Kim Il-sung's birthday as the Day of the Sun. Subsequently, on September 9, 1997, the Juche calendar replaced the Gregorian calendar in official documents, media, and public records, coinciding with the Republic's founding day. The adoption of the Juche calendar underscores the North Korean government's commitment to cultivating a personality cult around its leaders. It serves as a powerful tool to perpetuate the remembrance and celebration of Kim Il-sung and his successors within the nation's culture and daily life. The rule of 3 generations of punishment. North Korean law adheres to a harsh principle known as the 3 generations of punishment. Under this system, if an individual is convicted of a crime, the repercussions extend not only to them but also to their children and grandchildren. This policy serves as a brutal means for the regime to maintain strict control over its population. When someone is found guilty of a crime under this approach, it can have long-lasting consequences for their entire family, spanning multiple generations. In some cases, the entire family can even be imprisoned for the actions of a single individual. Consequently, the conviction can mean a lifetime of forced labor in prison camps, even when the initial transgression was committed by a grandparent. Numerous human rights organizations and the international community have criticized the 3 generations of punishment policy for being inhumane and a violation of fundamental human rights. North Korea's detention camps, also known as Kwanliso, have been the subject of numerous human rights reports detailing the harsh conditions and severe human rights abuses occurring within them. North Korea claims a 100% literacy rate. Education holds great importance in North Korea, as the state provides its citizens with free schooling at all levels, from kindergarten to university, including primary and secondary education. While there may be deficiencies in the North Korean educational system, particularly in areas related to international relations, certain aspects, such as the literacy rate, have shown notable success. The death penalty can be imposed for not following the leader. In North Korea, the death penalty can be imposed for not following the leader. According to South Korea's intelligence agency, an anti-aircraft gun was used to execute North Korean Defense Minister Hyun Yong-chul, who was accused of disrespecting leader Kim Jong-un. This method of execution is undeniably severe. Minister Hyun was in the presence of hundreds of officials when the incident occurred. He had been appointed Minister of the People's Armed Forces less than a year earlier and had recently attended a security meeting in Moscow before his tragic end. It is believed that his failure to show due respect to Kim Jong-un, possibly due to falling asleep at a military event, led to his detention and execution without a trial. The use of anti-aircraft fire for execution is an exceptionally brutal and violent method typically reserved for high-ranking officials who have committed serious transgressions against the leaders. North Korea has its own space program. Opinions vary on the success of North Korea's space program, which has garnered international attention. The program allegedly launched its inaugural satellite, KWANGMYONGSONG-1, on August 31, 1998. Despite North Korea's claims of success, no object in orbit was detected as a result of the launch. Since then, there have been 4 more launches, where orbit experienced operational failures. Nonetheless, North Korea maintains that all launches have been resounding successes. Hairstyles in North Korea. Strict regulations govern hairstyles in North Korea, where both men and women can face repercussions for not adhering to the list of approximately 30 approved hairstyles. Hairstyle options are largely limited to traditional looks from the past, ruling out contemporary styles such as spiked hair or layered cuts. The government's control over hairstyles is another example of the peculiar aspects of life in North Korea. Citizens are under constant surveillance, their freedom is restricted, and they risk severe penalties for merely expressing their individuality. Many North Korea every aspect of life, including basic needs like food and healthcare. It's no surprise that they also control where citizens live. Approval from the government is required to ring with a dirty vehicle faces fines, and those wishing to travel outside Pyongyang need a travel certificate. Ban on K-dramas. Korean dramas, K-dramas, have gained worldwide fame for their compelling storylines and talented actors. However, it's no surprise that these popular dramas have been strictly prohibited in North Korea for quite some time. The North Korean government views K-dramas and K-pop as significant threats to its efforts to control the thoughts and behaviors of its citizens. They are determined to prevent North Koreans from being influenced by these cultural imports, including global sensations like Gangnam Style. Reports surfaced online in 2022 revealing the extreme measures the North Korean government has taken to enforce this ban. 2 North Korean teenagers were publicly punished for watching and sharing K-dramas with their friends. This brutal incident drew international attention and underscored the severity of the government's measures. Previously, several children had been imprisoned simply for watching Crash Landing on You, a famous K-drama depicting a love story between a South Korean princess and a North Korean soldier. Despite the prohibition, there is evidence that some North Koreans are determined to find ways to watch K-dramas illegally, such as smuggling DVDs from neighboring countries like China. The fact that North Koreans are willing to take such risks to enjoy these programs in secret highlights their unwavering desire for entertainment and connection with the outside world. As we uncover more enigmatic secrets of North Korea, it becomes increasingly apparent how challenging life must be for its people. This raises important questions about how we can raise awareness of their difficult situation and the role international pressure plays in driving change. Share your thoughts in the comments, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this.